All right, today we're going to learn the Lasso tool in Photoshop. This specific lab uses two images. We're going to use the handshake image and the Houston skyline image. To get the images from Google Classroom, click on it, and then right-click, Save Image As, save it into your download stuff, and then click, right-click, Save Image As, save it into your downloads. Okay. Then what you want to do is go ahead and open up Photoshop, and you're going to open these photos by going to File, Open, and then going to Downloads, and then opening each one. So you're going to open up the handshake one, and then you're going to do File, Open again, and open up the skyline one. I think you can also highlight both of them and click Open to open both. All right, so once we have these open, you see the handshake up here, and then you have the skyline here. Our task here is to actually cut out these hands from this blue background and paste them on top of this skyline, and this is actually Houston. So what we're going to do is cut it out using what's called the Lasso tool. We're going to learn a couple things. We're going to learn how to zoom in and out really easily. We're going to learn how to use the Lasso tool and use how to add and subtract from a selection. So we're going to do that. All right, so the first thing we want to do is kind of zoom in. To zoom in, you hold down the Alt key and then use the scroll wheel up. We'll zoom in. If you hold down the space bar, click and drag, you can kind of pan the image around. So we want to have the image completely kind of filled into the screen here. So again, that's Alt. Down will scroll, zoom out, and then up will scroll in, zoom in. And then the space bar we're going to use a lot today. Hold down the space bar, click and drag will let you kind of pan around the selection like that. The tool we're going to use today is called the Lasso tool. Click on it right here. If it's not that one, click and hold, you get the Lasso tool. The whole idea with the Lasso tool is you just kind of like drag a selection like this, and you see the marching ants that's selected like that. Okay. What we want to do is kind of do a really rough selection around both of these hands. We're going to do is zoom in and make the selection, refine the selection. So I'm going to go ahead and just click, and we're going to do a really rough selection around these hands. My hands like that. I'm purposely doing it kind of poorly. But you could spend a little bit more time to refine it a little better than I am. My mouse is kind of weird, but that's right. And then when you get down here to the egg, just let go. And now we have a selection around the hands. Now notice the selection is really bad, right? I'm missing part of the thumb. I got a lot of over selection here. Some down here that I missed, some down here I missed. So what we're going to do is going to use a couple of shortcut keys to refine the selection. The first thing we need to do, though, is zoom into the image. So again, Alt, hold down Alt, and then the scroll wheel, and kind of zoom in like this. That's pretty good. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to use either Shift to add to the selection, and I'm holding down Shift, or I hold down Alt to subtract from the selection. In this case, I want to subtract, right, because I've over-selected. What I do is kind of click here and just almost like a paintbrush, click and drag, and then make a loop. Click, drag, make a loop. If you've ever painted a house or inside of a house where you cut in, it's sort of the same thing, where you cut into the... Hold down space to click and drag around the image. Hold down Alt to subtract from the selection. And you do want to come back around here and like complete it. You don't have to complete it completely, just kind of let go, and it will draw a line from there to there. Okay, subtract. If you accidentally take too much like that, you can hold down Shift, and that will add to the selection. So now this is the first time we've used this tool. If it's a terrible selection, that's okay. We're learning this kind of stuff, right? So add, maybe we'll add a little bit there. This is add as well, so Shift. So I'm going to add this part of the hand like that. Okay, then we want to subtract this selection out. So do it in little pieces. You don't have to do like a big long selection. Just do it in small pieces as you go around the hand, like that. Okay. I'm going to kind of speed do this. Um, y'all could take a little bit more time to get it really a really good selection. I'm just gonna. I think y'all get the point. Subtract. Right. You can add again using Shift. Missed a piece, and you hold down spacebar right to pan around the image. Subtract. Hold down Alt. You can kind of see the keys I'm pressing down here. I've added that little widget for us, so you can kind of see that. Pan the image right. That's a subtract. Hold down Alt. Some here I'm. Oh, gotta subtract again. My hand is not super accurate. Add to the selection. So this is a really good way just to refine our selections when we get to some of the more complex shapes. We've been doing the circles and we've been doing the rectangles, which are very easy shapes. This is a lot. When you get more complex shapes, you have to do kind of this stuff. We're going to learn some techniques how to make this a little faster. This tool, though, is nice to know when you have to just correct some of those auto selections that we're going to do. You'll notice that Photoshop also has an AI selection. I actually tried that on this image and it didn't work. It missed the sleeve. But we'll look at those later. The whole idea here is you're supposed to just select it, deselect it. So you want to have one big good selection and then come in here and zoom in and then just work out the pieces doing it like that. Okay. Alt will subtract, Shift will add, addition there. If you have a much steadier hand than me, then it'll probably your selections will turn out a lot better. But again, if they're terrible, that's fine. You attempted it. You're learning the tool. It's all about learning. It's all about practicing. That's an addition there. Ooh, man, it's not very good. Don't forget to circle around. You just kind of work your way around the image. So that was a really sloppy. I missed a lot of spaces there. Whatever. So once I have it, the selection, what I want to do is just copy what I selected. So I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, and then go to the Houston skyline and do Edit, Paste. And there we go. We've got what we've copied on the top here. We can move it with this little move tool. The arrow keys to move it down. You'll see that, I did some sloppy selections, so it's not perfect. We'll talk about later actually how to clean up that. But for right now, we just got the hands on top of Houston, and that's pretty good. So you're going to go up here and do File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. Save this one as Houston Skyline done or whatever you want to do. You can put your name in it. It's fine. Hit save and then turn that into Google Classroom.